Hey everyone, patching into the winter 2014-2015 forecast verification video. We did the winter forecast at GazWeather.com at the start of December, of course. We've gone on into the new season now, gone on into spring, so it's very important as forecasts that we look back and see how our forecasts, when we issue them, how they've gone, how they've progressed through the season. If they've gone wrong, perhaps to try and explain some of the reasons why they've gone wrong. So we're going to have a look at the climate averages from the UK Met Office, see how the winter stacked up in terms of our forecast anyway. Now, if I get on that, just say about the ads, this needs to like most page use that GazWeather.com. If you have a browse through the widgets, any articles that you're interested in, you'll be able to click through. And when you go off and read those articles, you help to support the website, help to pay me to and talk to you via GazWeather. So thanks for getting involved, and thanks for doing that. So let's start off with the temperature for winter of 2014-2015. Now, the forecast suggested that we was likely to have very close to average temperatures, significantly cooler than last winter, which was an exceptionally mild winter, 2013-2014, so significantly cooler than that, but not a cold winter by any means, just around average, maybe a little bit above average, and a winter of two halves, with the first half generally milder, and the risk, anyway, of colder conditions in the second half of the winter. So let's have a look at the average temperature from the UK Met Office, from Hadley. This is the winter 2015 mean temperature against the 81 to 2010 anomaly. And what we see here is that the anomaly actually comes out very, very close to average, white, virtually across the whole of the country. So compared to 81 to 2010, the temperature comes out very much around average. And that's bang in line, really, with the GazWeather's winter forecast. We predicted it would be around average in terms of those temperatures. And certainly compared to 81 to 2010, that's come off quite nicely. Now, if we have a look at the older average, which is 61 to 90, we see that compared to 61 to 90, which is a colder period, of course, it encompasses the really cold winters through the 1960s. 1960s was a very cold decade in terms of both winter and summer temperatures. So compared to that colder period from 61 to 90, the winter of 2014-15 comes out ever so slightly warmer than average, around half a degree to 1 degree milder than average compared to 61 to 90, but compared to 81 to 2010, we come out around average. And I say the reason for that is that the 61 to 90 average is a colder average, because it encompasses those really cold winters of 1960s. In any case, whether it's 61 to 90 or 81 to 2010, I think the GazWeather's winter forecast has gone reasonably well this time. We've come out either around average or a little bit above average, depending on which data point you take, and that's around what we were suggesting. Now, we didn't get that colder second half to winter that we predicted, so that was a little bit wrong. The coldest weather for winter, though, was in the second half. It was from sort of the middle part of January through to the first week or so of February. That was the coldest period of the winter, so that was okay, really. But I don't think we quite reached the depth of cold that I thought was potentially on offer. I did think that February could be quite a cold month, and it didn't really come off. So that side of things was a little bit askew, but otherwise, I think the forecast, in terms of the temperatures anyway, has come out reasonably okay. And it's certainly been a significantly cooler winter compared to the winter of 2013-14. That's something that came out in the winter forecast. It should be a significantly cooler winter. It was, albeit not particularly cold. Now, just dealing with the precipitation, the winter forecast suggested that precipitation was likely to be around or maybe a little bit below average, certainly very significantly drier compared to the wettest winter on record, which was 2013-14. So this is the rainfall anomaly, again from UK Met Office, compared to the 81 to 2010 average. We see that generally it was around or a little bit drier than average in the east and the south, and a little bit wetter than average in the north and the west. So a lot of regional variation there, but Scotland generally wetter, otherwise fair amount of quite dry weather really for eastern parts of the country, and again for much of central southern England, but wettest in the northwest. That's compared to 81 to 2010. Have a look at how that compares to 61 to 90. It's very similar actually. It's a little bit wetter in the north, otherwise it's around the same, generally about average to ever so slightly drier than average. So I think in terms of the precipitation forecast, again, it's not been too bad. Perhaps a little bit wetter than expected for Scotland, but otherwise, generally, we've come out around average, a little bit drier than average. That was pinpointed by the winter forecast also. So without wanting to blow my own trumpet too much, it hasn't been a bad forecast this time. It doesn't always go like this by any means. All long-range forecasting is highly experimental and comes with health warnings. So I'm certainly not going to, excuse me, certainly not going to be blowing my own trumpet too loudly, because the next long-range forecast is probably going to go down the pan. But certainly for the winter of 2014-15, quite pleased with how it's gone. I think overall the signal that came through in the forecast has come off reasonably well, so quite happy with this one. Thanks so much for watching, and we're on into spring now, of course, and summer forecasts will be beginning later this month, later in March. We'll be starting to turn our attention to what the summer may hold in store. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.